afraid of the big bad wolf? Big bad wolf, big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Fa la 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 la.
Hello there. Glad to see you're awake. I was starting to wonder if you'd ever come to. You've probably surmised by now that you are in a great deal of danger. Quite wisely so. I am known by many names, and none. A man of many faces, and yet none. For the purposes of this evening, you may simply call me your friend, the wolf. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, I assume. That is, unless you are a fan of loud noises, kicking, screaming, or scratching. You've been kidnapped. I'll be blunt. It's the long and the short of it. Obviously, a target with a high price on their head like yourself wouldn't be kept somewhere where anyone would be able to hear them scream. You can try if you'd like. It'd be pretty fruitless. I have many methods, many tools that I use in my profession. The one that I've chosen this evening looks a little something like this. A very sharp blade with a sawtooth back. And this sawtooth back is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a lot of reasons that you should behave yourself. Imagine the impact of a sharp blade like that, and the damage the sawtooth blade would make on the way back out. I would ask that you bear that thought in mind for the remainder of the evening. But I digress. There's no need for such harsh treatment. I can imagine that this sort of thing is a bit disorienting. When I found you 2 days ago, you were at a party, drunk out of your mind. I thought when I came to collect you that I would run into some issues, but apparently your partying made you a very easy target. Now they asked me to rough you up a bit in case they needed to make a ransom video, but you seem to have done a fine job of that yourself. Now, at this party, I would like you to know that your friends, well, they were simply incapable of keeping an eye on you. I'm sure they wanted to. I'm sure they didn't want to see you whisked away. But here we are. I always thought that if I was to be kidnapped, my first thought would be, how do I get myself into this situation? How did this happen? You have someone very near and dear to you who has a great deal of money, and we are hoping that you are just as near and dear to them as they are to you. It's a matter of ransom. That's all I am after. That's all my employers are after. And once we have it, you'll be free to go. So, as long as we're here together, we might as well pass the time. A bit of pleasantries. Suppose I could tell you a bit about myself. I've been doing this for way too long. In fact, I have done this with the premise that you will be my very last. When I was a child, my parents weren't sure what to do with me. They had certain demands of my friends, of certain type of character, certain love for certain acts of violence. You know the usual routine. You're shipped off to military school, join the army, make a man out of me. And that was the plan anyways. But you see, when I was in the military, I caught a taste. A taste for pain. Not my own, of course, but inflicting upon others. Immediately recognizing this, my superiors found a special task for me. Kidnap and interrogation. They would begin to teach me how to move, how to think, how to feel, in the most efficient ways possible for my work. I began to be so skilled at what I do that fear was spread about me. They said I would come in from the shadows, pick off the weak, like a hunter, like a wolf. So that's a little about me. You know pretty much everything you need to know about you, as do I. Now, I was instructed to rough you up for a ransom video, make you look slapped about. They didn't particularly care if I actually did it. They just wanted you to appear as though it was done. And it looks like your partying over the last 2 days has sort of overdone it. I don't want them thinking I didn't follow instructions. We better clean you up for this ransom video. Starting with a bit of a haircut. If you'll just allow me to trim a few bits of gum and vomit from your hair. Pass a comb through it. Yeah, that's just right. Yeah. That's good. Part that there. And then we'll snip off bits here and there. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's do a bit here. Yes. Now then. There's a few different methods we have for recording ransom videos. You could grovel, beg, and plead for your life. You could sort of well up a few tears in your eyes and really play the victim card. It's really up to you. I have all day. Well, at least until I receive word that we receive the money. And then guess who gets to go home? That's right. All we're interested in is the money. Now, I've been watching you for quite some time, and I'm actually quite a well-rounded individual despite the circumstances. I noticed you going about your day-to-day life. I noticed the stress that you go through, the heartache you put under yourself completely unnecessarily. And I see something of myself in you. I see a person struggling, hurting, and pain. The day-to-day struggle, the grind of it all has worn you down. So today, I've decided to make my job and your life a little easier, and we're simply going to sit here rather quietly and relax until we receive the money that we leave. And then you'll be free to go. I'm actually planning on retiring. You are the last job. I'm getting too old and too tired for this. It wears on you. I remember the first victim I ever had. It was a simple kidnapping and interrogation. They informed me that I was dealing with a criminal, the most vicious, ruthless man that anyone could imagine. They told me that he deserved everything I was giving him and so much more. And man, I really put him through the ringer. And you know what I found out? I found out that he was an innocent man, a scientist. He had developed a program that was capable of locking down weapons and causing them to be inoperable remotely. It was a short program that he could be used on any computer and any device. And they wanted to know how to disable it. I tortured the man for some days. I knew then that it wouldn't be that day, and it wouldn't be the next day, and it wouldn't be the next, but eventually I could not maintain this lifestyle. I couldn't continue on. I couldn't continue to hurt people this way. So I have made ends meet with the odd kidnapping here and there for ransom money, with no intent to ever hurt the victim, but guess what? A person very near and dear to you, whom we are trying to reach, doesn't know that. You can have a good laugh telling him about it later. But for now, suffice it to say that I am at the end of my journey. So you see, it's really nothing personal. In fact, I'd like you to enjoy your time with me. I know that sounds like insane. But one has to be to work this job. I invite you, since you are unable to move, you are unable to scream, you are unable to leave, to instead adopt a new frame of mind, one much calmer. So we can both have an easy night and move on with life. I'd like to start by guiding you into a more relaxed state. Picture, if you will, your very forehead becoming unfurrowed, unhinged, loose, relaxed. It begins to feel heavy and calms down even further. And your cheekbones, so tired they are from laughter, from smiling, from speech, they settle down, they relax. And as you breathe in through your nose, and out through the mouth. And you breathe in positivity, exhale negativity. And our shoulders tense with the news of kidnapping, all this other nonsense, are suddenly relaxed, at ease. There is no work, there is no effort required, there is no pressure. Only a bit of time. Your chest begins to slow with your calm, relaxed breathing. Your stomach, your legs, they're all becoming very soft, very heavy. I know this has been very stressful on you, but soon it will all be over, and you can move on with your life. But always remember your time with the wolf. Always remember how dark things could really be. And appreciate life. Appreciate your freedom. In a few moments' time, I will have received word of final confirmation of payment. And I will get up, and I will walk away, and in the cabinet just over there, in the third drawer, you'll find a very sharp knife that you can use to free yourself from your binds. The exit is behind you. You can walk out and you'll recognize the area, and you are free to go. You will never see me, you will never hear from me again in your life. Yeah. Understand this is a bit heavy situation, but I hope I've done all I can to make you feel somewhat comforted, somewhat relaxed. It's important to me that my last mission, my last subject, be different, be the start of something new for me and for you. Hopefully my pockets will be lined, which will give me a new fresh start. Hopefully you see how dark the world can truly turn in a moment and have a new outlook on life. Yeah. It seems payment has been processed, and our time here is just about over. I wish you good luck, my friend. I hope that happiness and joy follow you. And when you are snatched up next, may it be by a fond memory or a good time.